Hey guys, this is Kauri. This week we're bringing awareness to cancer and how it affects people, how it affects yourself, your life. And I'm actually going to tell you my story and maybe a few pieces about my father, just to help people understand how you go through it, the process for me and how I walked through it. Even the depression alone was a cancer that needed to be eradicated, right? So I'm just going to walk you through my journey a little bit and to let you know how it was when I actually found out I had cancer growing into my body. I was in, what do they call it, Baltimore, and it was freezing. Now negative 14 degrees. At that point in time, I was training like crazy. I was a fighter, so you guys know that. And I was out. I run every day. I'm fighting. I mean, nunchucks, swords. Just every freaking day, because I had dreams of going to the Olympics. I really wanted to do that. And I was training all these young cats, and man, I was cockier than anything out there on the planet Earth. Okay, and what I used to do for a living, I would go out and train surgeons and staff and radiologists, radiology people on how to perform vessel analysis and to look inside your body and find all these things. This was my job, to show people how to see things in the body. So what happened was I ended up going to Boston. I had to go train these guys. Like I said, negative 14 degree weather. The snow was stacked higher than my house. Okay, it was sick, and they had a blizzard coming through. So at this point, with the blizzard and everything, we didn't have any patience to test or to show them how to operate the unit and system and all that good stuff. So what I did was I said, and this was wrong, I know. I said, hey guys, go ahead and scan me. And they're like, well, I mean, okay, nobody's bucking the system. Scan me, let's see what we can do. So they scanned me, the staff there. They scanned my lungs, because I was having a little problem. I mean, I would run 5 miles and have problems walking from my bedroom to the kitchen. Just difficulty breathing. I just figured maybe I'm just being soft or something. I'm weak in mind. I'm stronger than this, and maybe I'm just tired. I was just trying to blame it on anything, because I didn't know. And the last thing I was thinking about is this something growing in my body that's not supposed to be there, right? So they say I get scanned. They scan me, and at that point in Boston, what happened? The temperature went up to 0. Now, if you've ever been in temperature that goes from negative to 0, they call this a heat wave. Right? And so I'm sitting here like, these people are nuts. Like, who would stay in this weather? Who would deal with this kind of thing? And I go outside, and it was a freaking heat wave. From negative 14 to 0 was a heat wave. I take off my coat. I'm like, this is so weird. But and I'm kind of nerdy science like, and I was like, this is cool. So I call a couple, my customers, find out, hey, blah blah, I'll be here, I'll do this, I'll see you soon, and I head back into the hospital. Now this is where the boo-boo hits the fan, right? I go back into the hospital. And I remember walking. You had to walk past their area, and I had to go talk to the radiologist, the head doctor, to start showing him some things. So I'm walking past the monitors, right? I see the monitors. I get right by him, and I'm like, I see this image, these lung images, but it's not looking right. It's not looking familiar. So I say, hey, who's that patient right here? They're like, it's like, cause that patient, they have, that's cancer right there on the wall. That's cancer. And so the people looked at me and they were like, in this surprised, weird, stoic kind of look, like shocked. You know, they're looking at me like, that's you. And I'm like, nah. Look, that's probably one of the stock things that we put on here so we can train you guys, but that's not me. And they're like, no, you're the only patient that we've done. And it stung me because I have never been called. I didn't have cancer and patient associated with me in the same sentence. No, like I may come here to show you how to view cancers, but I'm not cancer and patient in me. That never was supposed to be. That's not supposed to be, right? So I'm looking at it but in my mind I'm like, I'm telling myself no. And I don't know if many other people with cancer or sicknesses, I don't know if they do what I did where they really say, no, this is not me. I know a few. And as I'm looking, then I'm trying to rationalize it. I'm looking at the walls. I'm like, okay, let me scroll through these images, make sure this has to be wrong. This can't be me. Maybe this is a joke. I joke around all the time. But nobody's laughing. Nobody's joking. No, it was a real... And I may get emotional through some of this. It was a real intense moment. It was a more... At that point, I saw myself as flawed. Like, wow, man, something's wrong with me. Like, I'm not infallible. Like, I can be weak. Like, why me? So, I'm staying strong. I'm staying tough. I'm like, nope, I'm tough. I'm not gonna let anybody see this get to me. I'm not gonna let them see my pain, see my hurt. So I went to the doctor. I'm headed to the radiologist to teach him and train him. So I walk in and I'm cool as ice, being a little manipulative too, so I'll admit it. And I walk in and I say, hey, did you look at the images from the machine? So the doctor says, oh no, I hadn't saw it yet. So he reaches down because he's excited. This is their new product. This dude is happy. It makes his job easy. So he pulls he grabs his mouse and he had this sandwich and he's like puts his sandwich away. Man, this dude is excited. And he's looking at the image because, oh man, this is nice, but this is horrible for whoever this patient is. This patient, I don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, they have cancer here on both sides. They have cancer on both sides of their lungs. Well, when did we do this patient? And I'm like, that's me. And that same quiet happened again. That same, kind of like what you hear right now. You can hear everything except yourself, but you can hear your thoughts. And I could see this man's thoughts like, oh my God. And he goes, this is you? I said, yes, sir. I had him scan me. And, well, I went outside and I came back. This is what was on the scan. And he looks at me and because you're not supposed to do things like that, right? So he says, as gently as he can, it's like, look, you need to go see somebody. And I'm like, oh, why is this happening? What? No, this can't be real. What do you mean I need to go see somebody? But yeah, now I was in Boston. I lived in Georgia at the time. So I had to take a flight. And on top of that, while I'm up there, this blizzard was coming through. So I had to wait for the, to get a flight out and get there. So it was an extra day or two. And I remember flying home. And I remember trying to doubt it. Like, this isn't really happening to me. Like, this is something that people have, maybe we all made a mistake. Maybe the machine made a mistake. Because by the time I get back to Georgia, maybe this will all disappear. Maybe when I wake up, it'll disappear. And I will wake up, and it was still there. Nothing changed. And that night I got on the airplane, I'm flying home, and I'm stressing. But I'm still like, this weird hope, but maybe they're wrong. It's not me, right? I'm flying home, I'm looking at the people on the side of me. In the back of me, I was really looking around the plane at this point. And I'm thinking, do they have cancer? Do they have a cancer? Do they have something growing inside of them? Because that's why I always looked at cancer. There's something growing in you that's eating off of you. Something that's not supposed to be there. That's why I started this out. Like, even depression can be cancer. It's growing inside of you and it's not supposed to be there. And that plane ride was the longest flight I'd ever taken in my life. I remember the lady coming by, cookies, beverage, and I'm like, healing? Get out of my face. And I'm starting to turn into, I was fighting anger. I'm fighting the anger of impending death. I was fighting having to even think about it. And I didn't know. I get home now. I was married at the time. I get home and I was like, how do you tell somebody you have cancer? I mean, like, she didn't find out when I found out. She wasn't there to suffer through me. And I was too embarrassed and, like, still focused in my own world to say that this isn't real. This isn't real. Maybe I can go without telling her and things will work out. Nobody has to know. Because I was embarrassed. And you probably look at me like, hey, Kauri, how can you be embarrassed of having cancer? I was embarrassed of being sick. I was embarrassed of not being me. Embarrassed that I couldn't do the things that other people could do anymore because I walked through this with many patients. I did this. This was my job, to see cancer patients over and over and over again. To see their bodies go down, to see them dwindle into nothing. Here I am with a cut up body, ripped up, in shape, six-pack, strong as an ox. And you're going to tell me now? Tell me I have cancer when I don't feel good, I'm sick, or when I'm out of shape. Tell me then, but don't tell me when I'm at the peak of my life. So I was embarrassed. Why me? Why now? And why not them? I used to wonder too, like, why not those guys that was screwing around bull crapping around? Why not those guys that eat bad every day and don't work out? Why do they get to live and I get to see death coming? It's unfair. And I know this is how pretty much all of us feel that have walked through this. It's unfair. So, I scheduled a doctor's appointment. And the doctor that I scheduled the appointment with, me and him used to fight all the time. Did not get along with this dude whatsoever. But he's the cancer guy. Go figure. So now I have to deal with my problem, this disease, and I have to deal with my ego and people I don't like to help me. I mean, how bad can this get? I get cancer, something growing inside of me, and then I got the ego that's been growing inside of me. That was outrageous. So let me tell you about the doctor's office. The doctor's office. That morning, and my wife at the time, she didn't know. Now I want you to understand, I'm doing this all by myself because I'm like, some kind of way I can win. Hey. And I get up. Now at this time, I am living, guys. I want you to know, I wasn't hurting for anything. I'm not hurting for money. I had a great job. I was doing very well with my job. And on top of the job, like I told you guys before, I wasn't the greatest of guys. I was a bad boy. So I was doing bad boy things with the job. I'm training for the Olympics. People respect me. People honor me. And I'm still a bad boy, but they didn't know. And I look at it a lot of times like I was selected for cancer. I was selected to be in the running, to go through the process. And I tell people all the time, don't look at it as if I got cancer. No, look at it as if I was selected for, because now I can soldier through this. I'm gonna run out of this, right? And I'm gonna go into this doctor's office. Let's kick it here. Because I want to let you know what I was doing and prior to and how I was living. Because I have a sports car, man, convertible, top down. Only me and the top surgeon in the town has the same car. So you know I'm living well. I got a big house. I mean, I shouldn't be making the money I'm making, but I was, because I was a bad boy. With a good job. I mean, I'm winning. And cancer. and some growing inside of me, right? So I walk in the office. Now, normally I walk in because I'm talking to that surgeon or me and him going back and forth on things. And he was not a very nice guy. And his staff, they weren't too cool either. But I never really thought about what they had to deal with on a daily basis until they had to deal with me, of course. So walk in and they still had the funky face like they would when Kauri walked in. Like, hey, what does he want now? What is he gonna say? I walk in and they're like, what's going on? You know, old dirty nurse face, right? Nothing against you nurses, I love you. Dirty nurse face. And I said, well, I'm actually here as a patient today. This is my day. And they're like, I mean, the shock in the office, when you see people, the truth shocks people to death, okay? And so I'm hitting, boom. I'm hitting. So she takes the dirty nurse face and she's looking at the, you know, pulls it up, pulls my little thing up on the computer, you know, little dirty nurse face. And all of a sudden, the dirty nurse face turned into a different face. That scared me. the meanest people I had to deal with all the time, I saw that mask drop. I saw her mask from me being a butthole drop. From her being a butthole drop. And she had to wear the mask of a nurse. The mask of somebody that cared. And it was a natural mask for her. I just didn't know it. And she's looking at me. She's looking at me trying to maintain a mask. Standing in that doctor's office. Trying to act like I'm still cool. Like nothing's bothering me. Holding back every tear inside of myself. Holding back the thoughts of my future or the lack thereof. And we're both changing. Changing in seconds as we're talking to one another. And she says, oh God, oh my God, Kauri. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And I remember looking around the office at the other patients. I never really paid attention to them before. I just kind of walked through. And then I saw 6 other Kauris sitting in the waiting room. I saw people dressed nice. Looking like nothing's wrong. Preparing for death. Reality started kicking in very, very fast. So she's like, Kauri, have a seat. She said, come here, why don't you sit here? These nurses have never been nice to me. But for some reason, her job, she was empathetic in that position. She said, Kauri, sit here. And they sit you on the nice couch. It's like, would you like some water? She had never given me anything except a hard time. Would you like some water, Kauri? Yeah. I look at the water she brought, and I couldn't drink it. I didn't have anything in me anymore. But I'm sitting there looking like I did, faking. And the doctor comes out, he sees me like, hey, you know, got a little attitude. And I gave it to him. We were giving it to each other. I get it. He's like, hey, what's going on, Kauri? Like, I'm here as a patient. The nurse walks in at the same time. She's like, oh, he's here as a patient, sir. Let me come in and talk to you for a second. I'm like, oh. And this stuff is hitting me because I was on the other side of this. Like, let me come talk to you, where you take the person away because you don't want that person to hear the bad news, or you don't want to, you guys are trying to figure out how to release bad news to somebody. And I'm sitting there like, I can't believe this is happening once again. Started wondering what I need to get in order. I'm feeling alone. Doctor comes in, we finally go have a seat. Come on in, Kauri. Nice. This dude turned from butthole to straight nice. Say, how you doing? It's like, I'm all right. Because I was tough. I refused to cry. But I had the pain. Nope. Eyes think they were glassy. And he says, look, man. Look, Kauri. You know about this. You know where we are right now. You have a growth growing on both sides of your lungs. We gotta biopsy and get it out. However, I've seen this before, and you've seen this before, so we're gonna have to have surgery. We're gonna have to cut this out. Now, once we do, we may give you a round of chemo if we don't think we've gotten it all. And so now I'm starting to feel pressure because he's talking to me like a patient. He's not talking to me like a colleague. I'm like, so, you know, I'm dealing with this. I'm chaotic in the inside, but I'm maintaining this exterior. Like, yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, cancer, whatever. I'm good. I don't know what to feel inside. All right. I'm going insane. I'm going insane in the world around me. All this world is going on as I'm walking around sick. And don't look it. Body in perfect condition. Abs, man. Muscles. You got cancer. Something's growing inside of you. Don't have that long to live. And this is what he tells me too. Like, Kauri, look, I gotta be honest with you because you know. And who's ever gone through cancer and you work in the field and you're one of those people where they tell you, oh, I feel your pain. Because some people don't know. Ignorance is bliss. But when you know, I knew the process and the routine. I knew the weight loss. I knew the surgery. I've been there. I've been in them. And he says, look, he hit me with the hardest punch anybody's ever hit me with. He says, Kauri, this cancer's growing on your lung. Usually cancer's in the lung. You have a 7% chance of survival. Oh my God, I hadn't thought about this in so long. So you have I'm getting it together. I'm coming back up. You have a 7% chance of survival. But, and he says this, I'll never forget when he said it. You have a 7% chance of survival, but you can survive. And when he said that, something deep inside of me, something deep where I don't even know what I'm made of. I don't even know how God has created me. But something deep inside of me said, and I looked at him dead in his face, and I said, I'm going to be one of those. I'm going to be one of those. I'm going to do 7%. I want to be the one that survives. And he looked at me and he smiled. He said, you can do it. You can survive this. I said, okay. Excuse me. They said, I'm going to set you up with this other surgeon. And this chest surgeon, I knew him very well. worked with him, talked a lot. And to make this shorter a little bit, I ended up having 3 surgeries, 3 major surgeries. They had to pull my lungs out and then cut the cancer out. I have 2 very long scars on both sides of my chest. Now, they don't tell you this, and I'm gonna give you a little, if this is too graphic, please fast forward about 10 seconds. But when your lungs, when they pull your lungs out, your lungs are inflated inside of your body. When they pull them outside of you, they're deflated. They look like, almost like a Ziploc bag with nothing in it after it's wet, just kind of. So, just like a Ziploc bag, when they put the lungs back in you, after they've repaired them, they have to be refilled up all the time. So after I had my surgery, when I would fall asleep, my lung would collapse. So I had to, they show you how to train yourself so that doesn't happen. You have to keep coughing. You got to keep coughing. Got to always cough so you can keep filling up your lung. Well, that cough, let me tell you, that cough is the worst pain I've ever felt. It's like my lungs are, you could hear it, like just like Velcro being ripped, because you gotta breathe in and tear that lung, pull it out so it can actually breathe. It hurts so bad. Hurts so bad. We had to buy special things for the refrigerator because I was so cocky and proud. Things so I could get water, little spigot things in the refrigerator, water and milk to help me keep some of my autonomy. But one day I couldn't. I had to go to the bathroom, and I tell people this all the time. Who's gonna be there to wipe your butt, right? Who are those people, those butt wipers in your life? And my ex had to be a butt wiper. She had to pull me off of the toilet because I couldn't get up. I would sleep on one side of the bed and wake up in water, like sweat, pain. I hated it. I hated the fact of knowing somebody had to help me. But it all started rapping, as I got old and survived this, beat it. Endured it, man. Learn that people are here to help us. And the biggest thing I learned, that we're here to help other people. Because I was proud, man. And God took that away. I gotta take your pride in order to give you maturity. I have to remove your pride in order to give you character. I have to take your autonomy and your feeling of superiority. I have to take that in order for you to help people. I didn't know. And I walked around pissed, angry. How dare this happen? And I'll tell you what happened with my 3rd surgery. The surgery that actually saved my life. I go in, they do the surgery, but they put the epidural for my chest, they put it low. They put it in my for my lower abdomen and back, and that's not where we had surgery. And because of the medicine, it caused me to be constipated, real pressure in your stomach. So I have collapsed lungs, pressure in my stomach, chest tube sticking out everywhere. And there was a hole in my bed. And I kept telling the nurses, there's a hole in my bed. And they were like, nah, you just on the drugs. And it's like, no, I'm cognizant there's a hole in my bed because it's bending my chest tubes. I'm in pain. They're like, well, just hit your pain button. I was like, I'm hitting the pain button, but it's causing more pain. My stomach, I'm cramping. I'm hurting so bad. Then I realized, like, all the attitude I gave to people in that hospital, oh, they can give it back when you're laying on your back. So, people, be aware of how you treat people on this part of your journey, because the next part of your journey, you may need people. All right? So these women, they don't give a crap. They were tired of my crap. Like, I don't care, man. Well, since my epidural wasn't up around in my back, so I could have the pain and be away from that pain, I was in so much pain that I went into a shock. I started actually dying. And I remember being on that bed, and I had just gotten so angry because nobody was paying attention to me. I thought, no, I was by myself. I had to reach a point of being alone. I didn't know that point was going to be damn near death, right? So I get to that point of being alone, and what happens is, no lie, I start going into shock or something. My body's flipping out. I hear all these buzzers going off, but I'm looking. I'm able to see what's going on. I'm laying down, looking up. They're like, we got a crash cart. We got to get this crash cart, blah. I see all these people running in, alarms. And I couldn't say anything. I'm just sitting there like, I don't even know if I wanted to say anything. It was just like, but in the inside, in my mind, I remember saying this to myself. I was like, I'm ready to die. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be the broken down version of me. I don't want people to see my weakness. I don't want to lose and die like the people I've seen. I wanted it better for me. I wanted the way out. I wanted to choose death right now. And I remember the lady just over me, and they're yelling my name. Kauri. Are you with us? Are you with us? And I'm like, I'm looking. It's like all this stuff was happening in slow motion. I'm looking at you guys go crazy, but I just can't talk. And something happened, man. Something happened where I looked up and I decided that day, I'll never forget this. And I said these words in my mind. After all the things I did, I tried to take my life multiple times. I did things in order that my life would be taken so people wouldn't call it a sui, right? I just kept trying to get rid of myself because I was so angry. I was so misdefined to myself. I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know what I had. And that day when I'm getting ready to end it, when everything is supposed to be over, I should be gone. Something inside of me said, I want to live. I want to live. I want to live. I'm going to live. I started coming back. I heard the machines starting to come, you know, beat down. People like, okay, he's back. I had all these people, and one of the surgeons was there. Guess they knew they would probably have to take me back to the OR at that point, or I was gonna die, but I'm back. I'm come back, and I'm like, I remember looking up at the surgeon and saying, hey man, there's a hole in my bed. You guys can let me go home or give me a new bed. I don't care if I die at home. I'm good. I'm still mean and angry about my situation. And they gave me a new bed. They put my bed, and you could see the hole now in the bed. They have these inflatable beds. You can see the hole in the bed, and I'm like, man, I was laying on that for days with my chest tubes bent, with my back, you know, just horrible, just in pain, on that metal. They didn't know. They didn't care to know. And possibly because of the attitude I walked in prior to me being a patient, right? And then they called the code. That's where somebody comes in, they're probably dying, not well. And the patient had to come up to surgical ICU where I was, and it was an old man. And they put him in my bed with the hole in it. I saw that happen right in front of me. They didn't fix the bed, they didn't care about fixing the bed. They put that man in the bed with the hole in it. Right then, I was like, you know what? No more. No more. I had to be put down. I had to, first I was selected to have cancer so I could be put down, reorientated, so I could wake up, so I could start the fight again, so I could have discipline and the consistency needed to help people like that man that didn't know they were being put in a bed with a hole. To help that man, because I have been that man in that bed with a hole. I had seen the pain, saw the nurses. I felt every part of it in that bed with the hole. So you know what I want to do? I'm going to start helping people. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to beat this. And this was not cancer. Oh no. They cut all that out for the most part. And this is what I tell people, you're healed. I was blessed enough to have my cancer cut out. It took 3 surgeries. Took a lot of therapy. But once it was cut out, I was healed. Because the death stopped. There was no more death in my body. When you're in depression and going through all these different things, and you're outside of the situation, then you're healed. You have to go through therapy. You have to build yourself back up. You have to have something to push forward to. And I chose other people. I chose to eradicate the death in people's minds. I chose to be a surgeon for cancer of the mind. %. I am not supposed to be here. But why am I here? Because I'm here to help other people. I'm always supposed to. This was my purpose. This is my job. I will bring light. And that is what I want to do. That's what I choose to do. I'm actually enjoying being a light bringer. And I love people now. I speak up for those who can't speak for themselves. I speak up for those that have a hole in their bed and the other people don't know about that hole. I speak up for them. I want justice for everybody. I want everybody to have a good bed when they're going through the problem. But if you don't, somebody needs to speak up on your behalf. And I'm so grateful that I've been selected to be that one. I've been selected for cancer. I've been selected to have my body burned. I've been selected to be stabbed, butt whippings. I've been selected. And I'm so grateful. So you guys have been here listening to my story. And I know this has been broken up in sections. But this is getting to the end here, just to let you guys know. I don't choose to die anymore. I don't choose death. I don't choose anger, hate, bitterness, pettiness, bullcrap. I choose life. I don't need a ride or die. I need a ride and live. I need your positivity up. I need you vibing high. Because death is so close to all of us. A broken mentality is so close to all of us. And what's your cancer? Some of us actually get a cancer. We get something growing tangibly inside of our body, but is depression your cancer? So don't be one of the 7%. Be something different. Don't win. Be a part of the 7%. I'm sorry. Remember, that doctor told me there's a 7% chance of survival. I will be one of them. I will be one of the 7. 7 out of 100 people. I will be a soldier. And if I'm selected to be one of the ones that survived because I endured and I helped other people, then I know that's what I'm meant to do. We're all here for love. Not to just up and down, fun time love. To love to go help that man with the hole in his bed after you've laid in it. Love creates life. If you start moving your mindset to a creation of life because you are love, you will change the world. And I hope this story gives hope to people. My story. I hope that it brings you so much hope to want to live and survive no matter how bad it is, no matter what bullcrap ass number that they give you. If they tell you you 7%, then you say, I am one of those. You go live, love, and give life like you've never given it before. If you're dealing with somebody with cancer going through this process, no. But a lot of what I said they deal with. The process doesn't really change. You know, the community does. Situation may a little bit, but the process, no. Not really. I want to thank you guys for listening to me. I want to thank you guys for listening to my story. And I ask that you go out and help someone. Let's take away all cancers. Let's eradicate them. By believing in yourself more than you believe in that cancer. By believing in other people more than you believe in your cancer. Much life. Believe that.